Hello everyone, welcome to profitrealestate.com.au. I'm here again with my good friend, business partner John Williams, who has been a registered builder for the last 35 years, and then plus he's been developing and passing all the knowledge and expanding his knowledge. I mean, he has done a fair bit of courses in finance and further advancement of his building skills, because he always believed in the fact of learning. So he goes in that arena, isn't that right, John? Hello, John, and welcome.
Thank you. Thanks so much. Nice to be with you.
Yes,
It's a journey of lifetime learning, and it's a joy in learning, especially when you love building. So yeah, it's really enjoyable. One of the things I guess we're going to talk about today is how just learning a course doesn't really give you the full tools to be a proficient professional builder.
so absolutely, as John said, so that is what we're going to be discussing today. So we'll be speaking in regards to, would a course give you that ability to go out and start building immediately? I mean, with his experience and knowledge, certainly me being in the industry as well, I know what it feels like. I'm teaching, I'm lecturing in couple of the training institutes in regards to building and construction, so I know how it is, and then I'm passing on practical knowledge as much as possible. But let's come back to John and ask him the questions, because he's recently, not too far long ago, you finished off advanced diploma, right, John?
That's correct. Yes.
Yeah. So why did you think of completing another further studies?
Well, my qualifications go back to the mid 80s, and I sort of felt that technology and all the other things that are associated with building have actually gone more advanced today. So I was just looking to learn a bit more about it, and also cross over a little bit with the commercial build technology, and it was really enjoyable. But one of the things I did notice, even at that advanced level, that there wasn't enough for someone to pick that up with and actually run a building business competently.
So that was the next question I was going to come
That's
to.
right.
So going to ask you. So what did you feel like? What was the students? Because you would have observed your colleagues who actually studied at the same program. So you coming in with 25-30 years worth of experience, and then somebody who's sitting there trying to study a diploma or advanced diploma in construction. So what did you feel like? What was your feeling?
Well, some of them were already working in the industry, in various capacities. But one of the things that did strike me about the course, and mind you, it's an excellent course technically, there were a lot of really good things that I learned that I didn't know before, truthfully, and it still, I felt, didn't give them the tools to run a business.
Yeah, because yeah, what I've seen is like, not just the technical skills, you have to have the business know-how and the skills as well. And then certainly learning something of from books is different to putting that into practice. And then that's where John can certainly and then myself and our team can help you out in the upcoming webinars and the programs and everything, so into the real practical side of profiting from real estate. So I mean, if you don't know exactly how to go about it, that could become a problem, right, John?
Absolutely. Human relationships is very important in the building industry. Relationship with your client, relationship with your tradies, with your suppliers, with your building surveyor, with your town planners, with your architects, your draftsmen. It's very important to get on with everybody, because everyone helps to make the product in the end.
Yes, true. So, and then even cash flow management is very critical as well, right?
It is very critical. It's integrated with the whole building setup. You have to understand how everything works, and make sure that you know how to run all your progress payments correctly, pay your suppliers, pay your tradies all on time, because the worst thing in the industry is to fall down in any of those areas, because business ceases.
Yeah, true. And I've seen from my experience, I've seen few builders who actually gets their progress payment, let's say $100,000 on a large house, and then they go out and buy a boat. So what happens then? Like they don't have the money to complete the next stage, and then everything just goes on and goes on, and so it's very important for you to have an understanding where the money is. So I mean, not the whole funds is your money, but maybe if your profit margins are 10% or 15%, whatever your builder's margins are, that's only the portion which you are allowed to use. The rest of the money needs to go back into the project. So that's where most people do miss that. And then do you get that practical training in courses?
No, they don't give it to you, unfortunately. What's very important, actually, in hindsight, after so many years of experience, is to plan everything out right from the paper stage. It's cheaper, easier, and any mistakes that you find you can cover. So you really got to look at your site and your building going on the site and analyze the time of year it's going through, all the difficulties you might have, supply of materials, supply of trades, and chart the whole thing through a spreadsheet, to see how you're going to track. And you've got an estimate, okay, an estimate of cost, estimate of time, and just track it as to actual of cost and actual of time. So keep constant monitoring of the whole thing, so that if you're running behind a little bit, you find a way to actually pull back into time. So because if you've got multiple jobs running, can you imagine the confusion that's going to go on? You've really got to be on the ball as a builder. You can't have laxity on your job. You've got to be vigilant all the time and know what you're doing.
That's a good point you brought up. I mean, having multiple jobs at one time, because initially, if you are not in the building industry or building game, you could be thinking, okay, you're going to be doing one project, but is that how it's going to be? Not really. So you will, if you need to expand your business and everything, you'll probably have few projects running at one time. So you have to make sure you manage your trades properly, you manage your time properly, you manage your work expenses properly, you manage your incomes and everything else, even your personal life altogether. Managing that is very important as well. So how are you going to do that? So what are the systems you're going to put in place? What management you're going to have? So certainly, as starting off somebody small, I mean, you wouldn't be able to afford a lot of managers and administration staff. So in that scenario, who's there to help you out, and what systems? So I always believe in systems and having that from day one itself. As John said, planning ahead, everything. If you can plan ahead at the start of the year, this is what you're going to be doing, and then you track by, as he said, just following up with the actuals and the budgeted financials, or even anything like into your business plan, because especially John, isn't that right? Having a business plan is critical.
Every job should have a business plan.
Yeah, every job. And then see, where most people would put their business plan back into the drawers once they draw it up, they'll produce it to the bank, that's it. But that's not how it should be. Where business plan should be a living document where you should keep track of things. If you have so that's where it's very important. I mean, if you can sit down with your accountant, or even with our help, if you can draw up a business plan, and certainly keeping track of that. I mean, you need to be involved in developing your business plan, because if somebody does it for you, you can pay $2,000 or $3,000 and get somebody else to do a beautiful, excellently layout business plan. But is that really going to help you in your business? So where you might struggle like to understand certain terms in it, and then you would never look at it back again. So if you are involved in that business plan, you know what is happening, what is needed to happen, then you can start taking action towards that.
So even in your spreadsheets, you can have other columns that deal with what trades you need at a given time. So you can anticipate when you need the trades, and you can tell them, look, I've got a job coming up, and say August 10th. It might vary a little bit by a week or now or then. So basically that tells them that they've got a job with you at that point in time, and you're not ringing up them last minute to say, hey, I need you on the site, and they say, I can't get there for 2 weeks. So you've given them enough notice to be prepared, and it really has to be something out of the way when they can't come to your site. The other thing that you can tabulate in another column in your spreadsheet is the type of weather you're going to encounter. If it's winter, then you'll have an idea of what the weather is likely to be. So all this actually helps to bring more predictability into your whole project, and unknowns start to diminish in number.
Absolutely, very very good point there, John. Like risk management. So if you have a risk management registry, and then you've looked at every possible area where you could have problems, just like John said, weather, increment weather, how are you going to tackle that? Or if something goes wrong, the interest rates goes higher, So how are you going to tackle that? So those kind of important things, or even political changes, like it doesn't happen very often in Australia, but certain government law changes or something like that. How would you tackle that? So those kind of different scenarios, if you can observe it like from the start, that is going to practically help you to manage your projects well, and then make it a success in each one.
So one of the things I find no one has ever spoken about before is to ensure that your client, the owners who you're building for, have enough money to pay you right through the whole project. So basically what you're entitled to do is that once everything is signed up, you can ask them to provide proof, either a bank statement or a lender statement or whatever, to show that they have enough funds to pay you.
Absolutely. I mean, we would have come across earlier in your career as well, in regards to those kind of matters.
It has happened.
Yeah.
It has happened.
Yeah.
So also another warning, that to be very careful when you actually call for your progress payments, because now it's illegal to call prior to the regulatory sort of inspections on the project. But it doesn't mean to say that because you've got, say, 30K coming from, say, a frame stage, that the bank is going to make 30K payment to you. The bank might come down and they say, look, we're actually going to make 28K. So you might get a shortfall there. Now, if the owners don't have enough funds, they're not going to be able to pay that shortfall to you. You've got to decide, if they don't have the funds, can you carry that shortfall? So this is just a warning to be careful, to monitor everything from all sides, your side and the owner side, okay? And to watch how the bank is making the payment to you. The other thing is that if you get to the middle of the project and there are some extras that you've had to bill for, and there's another $5,000 or $10,000 come out of, because variations or unknowns or things like that you can truly claim, it could be possible that the owners are running into a shortfall with what the bank has allowed for the project. In that case, if you feel that is happening, it's your entitlement to actually ask the owners to provide you with a statement of how much funds they are holding, to ensure that they've got enough funds for you to complete the project. Should the funds be at limit and there is a risk that the owners might withdraw funds, what I would suggest is to actually get legal advice and have the funds secured in a joint account. So that's something that is very important, because you don't want to get to the end of the project and the owner said, we don't have funds to pay you. That's if the bank actually releases the funds in their control. So look, it's a case by case. You've got to test it to see how it runs.
Yeah, certainly. Thank you, John, for sharing that great insight into it. So I mean, so just like that, there's so many little areas where you should be aware of. So he's speaking with his personal experiences and the industry experiences, what he's been dealing with. So if you are aware these kind of problems could occur, I mean, you can start taking precautions at the start, because it's always better to be safe than sorry. So
True.
if you can set the systems up now, these are the tools which are going to be available. So I believe, so we can provide like a practical training side of things, where other certifications, I mean, couldn't offer. Is that right?
True, that's absolutely true. I mean, there's limitations how much they can offer through the systems.
Because
this is an advanced level where you actually are running a business.
Yeah, because the practical knowledge is far more important than the theoretical knowledge. Of course, you have to know the Australian, New Zealand standards and certain certification for requirements and everything. Even if you are already a builder, you are starting business off, I mean, we can with John's help and all our teams, myself, we can help you out into progressing further and expanding in your business side of things with practical knowledge. So that's where which we specialize in. So I hope you gathered a lot of great information from here, and there's a lot more to speak. Certainly the time is limited, so make sure you subscribe to our channel, and make sure you subscribe to our website profitrealestate.com.au, and make sure you are subscribed to our newsletters, and do leave us a comment, do contact us, and we look forward to meeting you in another webinar and future videos as well. Thank you, John. And do you have to add something, John?
Thanks for having us, Usher. With this sort of system that we have to offer, it will help you to stop your business from crashing. And not only that, it'll help you to grow your business while you're working in it, because most builders are so busy in their job, they don't know how to progress their business. So having been through all that, I mean, it's quite easy to predict how a business can actually grow without getting into difficulty.
Excellent. Thank you, John. Looking forward for the next video. See you then. Till then, bye.
10 times the knowledge, 10 times the wisdom, 10 times the tools. Do you want to profit from real property developments? Visit profitrealestate.com.au. Hit the subscribe button now.